Hi guys, this is Michael from the Board Games Chronicle. Today I have for you a very interesting title, of course, a war game. This time a war game from new to me publisher, NAC War Games from Spain, and a very interesting game, which is von Manstein Triumph. NAC War Games is known by already for years as a publisher of very known titles in Spanish in Spain, but also, as you can see, they are entering now the publishers market as their own with their own designs, with their own games. And thanks to their generosity, I have a possibility to play this game. Today we will look into the game components, some base mechanics. We'll talk a little about how to win the game, what was the historical background. In the next materials, I would like to show you how the gameplay looks like, what are the main rules in practical terms. So how do you win in this game, but also how do you move, how do you attack, and so on and so forth. So today, a look into the box, and in the next materials, kind of a how to play session report. First of all, let's look at the box. A sturdy, really tough box, beautifully produced and with a beautiful graphics. This is something which I will be drawing your attention to during the game. In the first, let's say, picture, we can see the naval brigades of USSR. You can see Pepesha, the rifle. You can see the grenade. You can see also the cap, which is marine cap. You can see also the guns of Sevastopol. Here at the back, a brief introduction to the game in English and in Spanish. Yeah, remember, this is a two-language game. Complexity rating 2. I agree with this. After briefly familiarizing with the game, it's correct. This is rather light war game, although I would not say it's completely for novices. It has its depth and it's really interesting. We will be using the blocks, but also some counters. Okay, now let's jump to the content itself. Okay, first thing which we'll see, rule book, and by the way, the rule book should be in two languages, rule book and reglamento, so Spanish. A rule book is on the nice glossy paper, not overly complex, 18 pages, which some of those pages are devoted, of course, to the explanation of the cards. It's a card-driven game, and maybe it's good to tell you about the story behind this game, where this Manstein's triumph occurred, and what were the historical, let's say, circumstances. Manstein had a lot of triumphs during Second World War. We know his feat during the backhand blow when he and Tigers during the winter after the Stalingrad disaster managed to stabilize the front in 1943. We know how he was fighting the Southern Front even despite the Hitler's orders and getting some of the troops out of the pockets in 1943 and 44. You can see actually my session report from Traces of War by VUCA Games. However, first of the Manstein's triumphs, you can say, was during the siege of Sevastopol. As you very well know, in 1941, in June, during the Operation Barbarossa, the Nazi Germany attacked communistic Russia, communistic USSR. And in September 1941, they reached Crimea, and the siege of Sevastopol started. The siege was lasting so long, there were so many assaults by Germans, that I think there was a risk that it will not finish before the 1942 Hitler Operation Fallblau. So attack into the southern part of the USSR, towards Stalingrad, towards Grozny, towards all fields, all the stuff. So von Manstein was tasked with this. you need to take Sevastopol as soon as possible. You need to secure the southern flank of Germany, and you need to release the forces which otherwise will be used to the attack into the southern Russia. So it's June 1942, 7th of June 1942, and the final third big assault on Sevastopol by German forces, led by von Manstein, starts. So this is what the game is about. This is two-player game. It's a card-driven game, as you shall see in a moment, and it is pretty intense. We have some information about the game components, about how to set up the game. Actually, we have it pretty nicely shown also in the playbook, about auxiliary counters, sequence of play, couple of words about the sequence of play. So there will be an initial bombardment phase. It depicts the 5 days before the attack when von Manstein bombard the defenders of Sevastopol. It's pretty cool mechanic. You draw 8 cards. 8 cards is a standard hand for the Germans. 6 cards will be for the Russians. And out of those 8 cards, you can discard 5, draw additional 5, and then use the artillery connected cards to do the bombardment. In essence, you can have even 8 cards connected to this, unless there is less of them in the deck. Then we alternate the place. Axis are first, Soviets are second, and then we go to the next turn. So what Axis can do, they can play a card or they can pass. Playing a card, we'll talk about cards in a moment, can have a couple of effects. Then both sides draw to their hand limit. The same when in the Soviet turn, the Soviets play their cards. Of course, Germans can also play some reaction cards, and at the end, they draw to their hand limit. I will show you in the example of cards what type of cards we have. Enough to say is that there will be red salt ones, there will be green, which are combat support, which are order cards. Then there are yellow, which are combat support cards, and the violet, I would say, which are reaction cards. Some of the cards are dual use, so they will have 2 colors. I really like how this differentiation of card was done, not only with the letter, but also with the color. Much easier for me to differentiate. Then we have a section about counter markers. We'll not go into much to this. Of course, we have some special units like anti-tank guns, armors, pioneers, and so on. Combat, we have pretty detailed description of the combat resolution, which is not, by the way, so difficult. Let's be honest. You need to count how many blocks you have, whether some special modifiers are there, who has bigger strength, so on and so forth, and you roll die, and on 5 and 6 you inflict a hit. So this is the description of the battle. What I really appreciate, you can see from time to time those little brown boxes. There's a lot of historical comments and designer notes. We will have in playbook also a separate design notes, but I can tell you this game is very much rooted in history and does a splendid job of explaining the history to the players. And let's be honest, this is the main reason I'm playing the war games. Not only to have a good time with them and with my colleagues, but also to learn something. And I will for sure learn a lot about this Zich. Example of battle. We have some information about battery. There were huge guns, those guns in Sevastopol, which were also able to fire inland. Very important. There was a huge anti-tank ditch. There were trenches. Yeah, it all will be on the map. Ferries, control, Soviet demoralization. Reinforcements. Ferry reinforcements are mainly for the Germans, and as you can see, they will be playing victory points. And now here we are getting to the another important aspect of the game: how to win the game. The game is being won by the side who has more victory points at the end of the game. If they have the equal number, this is a draw. At the beginning of the game, you will see on the map there will be like 12 points, all of them controlled by Soviets, so Germans have to attack them and occupy them. If they bring the reinforcements, they will have also the minus penalty because of this to their total final result. And I think that's pretty much about the rule book. We have a cards description here, so you have examples of them. Yep, and that's all. This is both in Spanish and in English. Now we move to the playbook. I will not try to read in Spanish. I know Spanish a bit, maybe not so much. So let me say playbook. By the way, I told you that the game is beautiful. It is indeed very much beautiful. You can see even in the playbook the orders, colors. I like it. So what do we have in the playbook? We have a historical setup which shows which regiments, because this is a regimental level game, brigade regimental level, where they are placed. A maximum number of units on one area, I would not call it hex, is 3, as you can see. Here it is. How is it being set up? And then we have a pretty long design note and historical commentary, which I like very much. I told you I will be able to learn a lot from this game. And then most importantly, game example, which allows you to learn the game pretty quickly. Here's the battle. Here are the moves. Okay, so that will be it for the rule books and playbooks. Let us jump now further into the book. Okay, now we have something which you can call proof of purchase. Nice. Then this would be the player aids, 2 of them, and the Spanish and English version, 1 for each player. It tells you about the usage of the cards, so order card, assault cards, reaction cards, and combat support cards. Yeah, you will be able to use them. So these are the player aids. Then we have a letter. Yeah, but sorry guys, I have a feeling this is in Spanish, so might not be able to translate for you. This is about the author, Francisco Ronco, and we have also illustrator, Ivan Caceres. Beautiful illustrations, by the way. I really like them. They look fantastic. Yep, so introduction to the game, to the authors, and to the artist. Nice, pretty cool and thematic. Now we are getting to the actual game component. First of all, die, 6-sided die, and we have like 8 of them. What I like about them, that they are rounded, so they will be easy, you know, to throw and to roll. Good. That's really cool. Then we have, let me start with the cards. So these are all the cards. Would need to open them as usually. Need to take some sharp thing to open them. There will be cards for both sides. Each side will have its own deck of cards. And I believe there will be a couple of cards which are some kind of a aid for the players. Okay, managed to open it, was not so difficult. Yep, now let me just see the back side of the cards. So these are the German cards. Okay, this would be the Soviet cards. Okay, and here we have some, player aid cards. So combat die and a Spanish version. We have terrain effects. Do you remember Memoir 44? You can also have all the player aid on the cards. Counter and markers effects. Sequence of play. The manifest of cards for Soviets and for Russians. How many assaults, counterattacks, redeployments, heavy artillery, field artillery, fighter cover. You see some of them are dual use. So let me put here. By the way, another thing, again and again and again, which I would like to stress is how beautiful those components are, how beautiful the graphics are, the color codes. Really, I'm big fan of how it was produced. Now we have assault card, seems like simply attack. Yeah, and here even more interesting because it's like larger, farther away attack with some reaction possible. We'll read about it later. It's kind of an order card to redeploy the unit, I believe. Here we would have stop, meaning, yep, I'm reading in Russian. You see that these are anti-tank mines. This is bunker. So these are combat support cards. And we have some additional die here, like field artillery. So I'm just showing you some of the cards, not everything, of course. Of course, you can look at the manifest. So we have like 2 assault cards, and then a lot of those counter-attack cards. So then we have some redeployment cards. These are free. You can see them here. Super heavy artillery. Super heavy would be 3 die. Here would be heavy artillery, and here we would have air power, which could be also the reaction card. And this reaction card is fighter sweep, so it can remove another card. Interesting. Now we have combat support cards, like when attacking bunker mines. You know what is it? 88. Yeah, the so famous gun. I believe it's 88, or maybe even larger caliber. Now we have another Goliath. Very, very, very nasty thing, used to large extent also during the Warsaw Uprising in 1944 against civilians and home army. Here is demining device. He says demining device. Here we are adding some artillery support. Yep, 88. So here is 88. Sorry, here's 88. Although to me, 88 looks much more like that one. So this is, I believe, 88. Yeah, 2 of them, 88. So I guess. And this is the field artillery. Good. So we went through the cards. Beautiful cards for both sides. And you see, guys, one comment from me, you can do a really nice game about Second World War where you can play Germans and don't use swastikas, yeah? I think this is perfect solution to show it like this. Some people say that for the accuracy's sake they have to use it. No, you don't. Now we have some buggies. Let me put it aside. And then we have the units, which we would need to assemble. Yeah. Okay, so these are the stickers, and these are the blocks. We have the red blocks for the USSR, 2 on 2 centimeters, and we have gray for Germans and for Romanians, for both. And here are the stickers. Don't make a mistake. These are the stickers. These are spurs. So we are getting the spurs. As you can see, these are the German forces. These are the Romanian forces. These are USSR forces. And if you look at the unit, you would see the strength. These are the dots. You can get sometimes the movement factor, so 2. They can move 2. Some units will have also some additional die to roll. Oh, here are getting additional die to roll because it is NKVD. Yep, so these are the stickers. Here we have the counters. These are the control counters. USSR Germany. You can see the anti-tank here. Yep, the bunkers. -1 and +1 for the mining. So you saw the cards, and this would be the assets which we can use. So armor, pioneers, and also here some pioneers on the German side and armor. Here we have the divisions. Okay, on both sides. Okay, and that's it for that. Now, the map. To show you the map, I probably would like to move it a bit so it would be better visible. The map is beautiful, astonishingly beautiful. When I was looking at the pictures of it, I couldn't believe. Okay, you see, even the interior of the box is nicely printed. So let us have a look at the map. This is a mounted map, a sturdy one. I can see this is two-sided. So let me first of all have a look here. Checking the camera, to what extent you can guys see this, to a very large extent. Okay, most of this. So what do we have on the map? First of all, we have area where the play will take place. You can see those markers. These are the victory points. I believe that the other side is simply in English. Here is Spanish. The other would be in English. So let me also check it. How does it look like? Okay, in order to put it properly, we need to do the switch. Okay. So I'm playing with this all for you guys. Okay, so here we have Sevastopol, two main areas of Sevastopol. Here we have a big guns, here you have some airfields. We would need, of course, unfold it, but we can do it later. Here is the battle minimap. You see, this is the defender, and there could be a couple of attackers coming from different sides and flanking them. That's pretty cool mechanic. Will not go in details here today, but believe me, this combat is more tactical than just pushing from one area to another area. Here we have a card for Germans, and for the Soviets also the additional assets. Here is the legend, is the turn track, victory track. It starts on +12 for the Soviets, and it can get even to -4. Yep. Here we are getting the Soviet reinforcements. Here we have ferries. Here are the fortifications, and here's the anti-tank ditch. And also over there it is. Yep, and what do we have? Here we have the Axis reinforcements over here, which we can bring to the play, but by paying the victory points, of course. So this is how the map looks like. Beautiful, astonishingly beautiful. Not too large. You would be able to fit, I believe, on the regular table without any problems. And one person sits on one side of the table, the other on the other side. Probably a Soviet player here, the German player over there. They have their cards, discards, and so on. Draw piles. And simply progress with the game. Okay, guys, I believe this is where we will end for today. I would be able to talk about this game for much longer. I'm really curious about it and eager to bring this to the table. It made a great impression on me. I read some of the rules already, and now I had a chance to look at the components. The game seems pretty interesting. It has very good reviews on Board Game Geek also. You can check it. I like those new unknown to me designers, developers, publishers, NAC Wargames is one of them. But believe me, this would not be the last game which you will see from me, from that publisher. I believe, guys, that will be everything from me for today. I hope that you like it. I hope that you get really some additional information about the von Manstein's Triumph. Cool game, cool block game, card-driven one on tactical level with some very interesting mechanics like attacking and attack resolution. I believe that additional materials like ones focusing on the gameplay and detailed rules would be something you would like to see. So believe me, you can count on me, and they will be produced. That's all for today. If you liked this video, please give thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, kindly please subscribe. Every small subscription counts for such small content creator like Boardgames Chronicle. And of course, use the comment section and also to put your ideas, your thoughts, or maybe some questions. That's all for today. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Hear from you soon.